Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Got another video review for you guys today. This time I'm going to be reviewing Transhuman, Rivka's story. This was a crowd-funded comic. Before we get to that, though, real quick, I just want to remind you guys, if you are new to the channel, this is your first time here, or maybe you've been here before, but you just haven't done it, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications and all that good stuff. And also, while you're here, maybe you're even seeing this on the website, go check out indiecomics.underground.com. indiecomicsunderground.com will have all these review videos and all my other videos will be posted up on there as well as here on YouTube. You can get there's Indie Comics Underground is my place to promote to you guys, to show you guys, to introduce you guys to creators and books and all kinds of indie comic goodness that you might not otherwise see. That is kind of my goal and my mission in life, is to spread the word of indie comics throughout the land. Anyway, like I said, go to indiecomicsontheground.com. Make sure you check it out every day. There's always new content up there, new interviews, new artist spotlights, all kinds of good stuff. You don't want to miss that out. Also, if you feel so inclined, you can always follow me on Twitter at jam_creates. Follow me on the gram at jam_creates. Mostly pictures of my dog and my artwork on Instagram. So anyway, let's get into it, shall we? This is the subject for today. Transhuman, Rivka's story. Now, interesting thing about this. Have you ever gone into a comic, or I'll make it bigger so you can see the whole as good as possible. Have you ever gone into something, whether it be a book, a movie, whatever it might be, and in your mind, you have a picture of what you think it is going to be. And then when you get into it, it turns out to be something different. Sometimes that can be really, really disappointing. Sometimes you'll go in expecting one thing, you get something else, and you're like, oh, this was not at all what I expected. Other times it turns out to be a really pleasant surprise. Well, I'm happy to report that this is the latter. I went into this thinking, okay, transhuman, it's a story about a transhuman. Obviously, you can see, the metallic arm and the eye and all that. And like, okay, it's going to be like kind of a, action, cyberpunk action story, whatever. I like that kind of stuff. That's cool for me. Like, I definitely enjoy that type of storytelling. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be like, Alita, where it was like super over the top, craziness. But I thought, maybe, I don't know, leaning more towards like Deus Ex or something like that. Or Blade Runner, maybe. But what we actually got is a really interesting story of two people. Well, I guess you would say three. It's basically the story of one main character, Rivka, who you see here on the cover, and then it's also the story of a couple of others. Let's get into it. Let me just show you a couple of variant covers. Really, really nice looking stuff. So this is written by Stephen Koch. Stephen also did Terra Olympus, which I also reviewed and absolutely loved. He did Wordsmith, volumes 1 and 2, which I also reviewed and also really, really liked a lot. So, I went into this obviously with, fairly high expectations because I enjoy Steven's work. So anyway, the artwork is by Alan Sands, who I don't know, but you'll see how he did as we go. Um, um, so first we get a little prologue here, in the year 2021. So it's Rivka and her strike team here. They're on a mission. It's basically just kind of giving you a feel for, what she can do and the enhancements that she has, because she is more than just human. She does have, additional abilities. And then we skip ahead now to the year 2024 and we get into the actual story. Here's where we wind up getting this story of, obviously it's of a few different people, but what we get is we get two different perspectives, which is really interesting. It's something that gets touched on a lot when it comes to transhumanism, and things like this when people try to do a cyberpunk story or something. Generally speaking, they will have the cyberpunk characters, and then they will they'll have the transhuman characters, the ones with the implants and the body modifications and all that kind of stuff. And then they'll have, like, usually there's some sort of crazy cult who is against it, who thinks that they should be, purely human, and that they're doing the wrong thing. And what you get here is we start off the story with both sides of that argument. And the interesting thing about it, what I really liked about it, is neither one of them is made to look like crazy people. They are both merely stating their case. And I really appreciated that. I thought it was a really nice way of showing the two different sides. This and kind of like letting you decide. So we get this, there's a priest and there's this tech guy talking about what they can do, and the different things they can, removing blind spots, and fixing everything and all that kind of stuff. And then the priest is talking about how, it's an affront to try and take God's place, and perfect, and try to improve on the perfection that he created. And then what happens is we get, there's a dude who kind of loses it. So what happens is you're getting both sides of the story, but then you also get that third side of the guy who takes it a little too far and actually tries to shoot the guy talking, and Rivka has to jump in and stop him. And you can see she takes him down, and then that's her job. She's basically, it allows us to understand what she's doing. She's protecting this guy who is on the pro side of transhumanism, and you would assume that she is as well, since she's got the arm and she's got the eye and the ear, and um, because she was injured. Just to skip ahead, I'll just tell you guys, she was injured, and as a result of her injuries in combat, she received these things. And then we get a personal story of this other guy who's having trouble. He's struggling. He can't make ends meet. And, he's really against the whole transhumanism thing. And he's just getting further and further aggravated and angry by everything that he's seeing and everything that's happening to him. And he's losing himself. And then at the same time, we get to a little insight into Rivka as well. She is going through a divorce. She's trying to ignore it. We get a little info here on how she actually became injured in the first place, saving the life of this child who was strapped to a bomb. Um, and the bomb actually is what took her arm and her eye and her ear. And then we see how she has to live with these dreams, and how she lives with uh the aftermath of that, and having the implants, and what she has to do, a little bit of her daily life. And then things get a little bit out of control. I don't want to what happens is there is a televised debate between the two other people that we saw speaking for both sides, and the angry guy who was getting angrier and angrier. He is there as a guest of the priest because he was part of the priest's parish. And there's this televised debate between both sides, and again, presenting both sides without judgment. Really great job by the writer, I feel like, in not making you think like, oh, well, these people are just religious fanatics, and they're just, no, they have a point and they have a reason for why they believe what they believe. But the priest is also very calm about it. He's not, he's not beating his fist on the table and saying how they're all going to burn in hell and this and that and the other thing either. So then things pick up after the televised debate. I don't want to spoil anything, but what I will say is, obviously there is an incident that happens. And, again, I'm here to review, not completely, just run through the whole book for you. So what I will say is, we get even more of a personal story as it keeps going. And that was what I was not actually expecting. I wasn't expecting to get this nuanced debate about transhumanism, and I wasn't expecting to get this personal tale of not just the main character, Rivka, who we start to see, like, how she has been running away from things and avoiding things, and the sacrifice that she made, and the toll that it has taken on her mentally, and all of that. But we also get to see this other person who's going through a really hard time and who loses it, and we get to see them lose it, and we see what happens, and then there's ultimately a resolution at the end that actually makes you feel pretty good for where the characters are. I really would like to revisit this world at some point. Um, I will definitely say that. I don't wanna go too far, I don't wanna spoil anything and take anything away. Um, I will say the art is very well done. Um, I mean, you can see that yourself. This is definitely, quality art in this book. You know, really good storytelling. This is a storyteller's showcase. You know how some books are kind of an art showcase and some books are more of a storyteller's showcase. This one to me is more of a storyteller's showcase. Uh, don't get me wrong, the art is still fantastic, but what I'm saying is the story is what will stick with you for sure. Um, so it absolutely will stick with you beyond this, thinking about this, and definitely will make you, at least made me wanna know more. So I'm hoping that there will be a follow-up to this. Now, whether it would be, a whole series of transhuman books, maybe focusing on different characters, or if it will continue to focus on Rivka as we go forward, I don't know. It would be interesting to see. Like I said, as it's titled Transhuman, Rivka's story, you could go either way in the future, and I don't really know, and I'll probably reach out to Steven and ask him about that, because I've interviewed him before, I've spoken to him before. He's a nice guy, he's a good guy, um, and he's very open to doing interviews and promoting his books, and he works really hard to get his books out there. So anyway, that is Transhuman, Rivka's story. I definitely would recommend it. If Steven does another campaign for a second book. Generally, what he has done, his track record so far, and he's delivered many books so far. So you can definitely count on him to deliver any book that you back from him. That's for sure. He also tends to do catch up tiers. So if you've missed this one and you're interested in it, and he does a campaign for another transhuman book, you could be sure there's going to be a tier that will allow you to catch up and get this issue so that you can read both issues. Um, he definitely delivers quality stuff for sure, and I've definitely become a fan of Stevens over the last, I guess year and a half, 2 years now at this point. Um, Really, he does a lot of good stuff, and whether you back this one, I backed digital. Usually, you guys, if you've been following the channel for a long time, I prefer physical, but I went ahead and did the digital to save some money this time, just because I've got that disease, Mafunzalo, and so I got to do what I got to do, but I still want to read my comics, man. So anyway, comics are a drug sometimes, I think, but anyway, that is Transhuman, Rivka's story. Really great art, really fantastic storytelling, really great story. Really well told. Totally not what I was expecting when I went into it, and I don't really know why I was expecting what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting more of a cyberpunk action adventure, and it's more of a drama story. Really good stuff though. It's hard for me to come up the way to describe it right now. So anyway, that is Rivka's story. I definitely recommend, if you can get a hold of it, definitely do. Maybe reach out to Steven on social media. See if you can, maybe if you can, you know uh, maybe get it digital. You could send them something, and maybe he'll send you the digital file or something like that. But definitely would definitely reach out, and keep an eye out for a follow-up campaign and see what goes on from there. So anyway, I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you will remember to visit IndieComicsUnderground.com. And if you are watching this video on IndieComicsUnderground.com, well, thank you very much. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Happy New Year. Peace out.